I love this comment. I truly do. So let's discuss it, okay? I believe the Miss Independent Woman thing swung way too far on the pendulum years ago, and ultimately, independent women took on so much masculine energy. We emasculated men. Now, I truly desire a masculine man, but if I am so independent, I don't need a man. Well, then you're going to keep men away from you, right? And so I am learning that fine line, that dance, that balance of being driven and ambitious and independent, because I think that's sexy. I think independence is sexy. However, I have to create space for that masculine man that I ultimately desire, because otherwise, taking on so much independence, men don't feel like men. Men are, that innate desire behind them is to provide and safety and security, right, men? I would love to hear you chime in. So women, if you truly want that masculine man, that yin and yang in a relationship, it's okay to be independent, but it's okay to bring your guard down to create space for him to take over too.
Last time I was single, I was 24 and the dating pool was everyone. And now it's like a shallow puddle of age-appropriate men who are old and gross, and I don't want to do that.
Here, we have two women who have different ideas about what it's like to date as an old woman, 40 and 50. One of them talks about the reality for women and how successful women over 40 can be so independent and say they don't need men. But they don't realize how shallow life can become for older women without a partner. She also talks about how men have been so feminized that masculinity is becoming rare, and that a masculine man will always win over a feminized man. Modern women today are having trouble dating because there aren't many people they can date in the first place. Women are hypergamous by nature, which means they are only interested in marrying or dating someone they think is more successful and secure than they are. If you're a working woman in your 40s or 50s, and you've moved up the corporate ladder or made a lot of money as a lawyer, doctor, or another important person in modern society, you probably have a few pieces of paper framed in mahogany and hanging on your wall that tell the world what you've done. On paper, that sounds great, but the truth is that most men are not interested in degrees and success. I don't know of any man who has ever said, "Look at the degree on that woman." Men don't work like that. That's the stark truth about men and women. Women see men as objects of achievement, and men see women as objects of beauty. When you move up the social ladder as a woman working in corporate jobs and other similar jobs, you've probably already bought and paid off or refinanced your own home. You know you're doing well because you drive a nice car with a German emblem. So now that you have accomplished all the goals you set for yourself, you failed to realize that you have left no room for any man to improve your condition. Men are protectors and providers by nature. There's nothing more they can do for a woman that already has done it for herself. So now you have become less desirable to men, which is one of the reasons that men prefer younger women. Like it or not, they are your competition because they are also looking for a high-value man. And the facts are that younger women are more attractive, still have a long life ahead of them, normally more submissive than an older woman who is already set in her ways, and their fertility is higher. If you've read about evolutionary psychology, there are a lot of reasons why guys prefer younger women, and these apply to everyone in the world. If you pick up any book written on the science of male attraction, you will see that this is men's preference based on biology. There have been many surveys conducted over the years in many different cultures, and in every region of the world where men are shown images of women which confirm that the majority of men, regardless of their age, will always be attracted to women in their early 20s. The raw truth is that you can't change thousands of years of biology. No amount of social pressure, magazine articles, or other attempts to change this relationship dynamic has ever worked, because men have always seen women as objects of beauty. We're starting to hear a lot of advice like men should only date women their own age or fat acceptance rules. That's fine and all, but what does men's behavior tell you when you've climbed the corporate ladder and accomplished all of that? Most of the women who are still available to date are younger and hotter than the women who are their own age. This brings me to my third and final point, which is what men usually look for in women of that age. I've been there, and I've seen that most women in that age range are not good for long-term relationships. I'll tell you why. In general, they have seen it all, and have a high notch count to boot. They usually have small children, sometimes from multiple partners that are still in the picture one way or another. They can be very annoying and almost intolerable at times. These successful women are looking for better men, but they aren't interested in you because after a long day at work, they don't want to deal with arguments and small problems. They want peace, kindness, and a woman who can make their house feel like a home. These three things are the main reasons why many of these women have trouble meeting nice guys. It's how the intimacy economy works as a whole. Simply put, they aren't the kind of women men in their age range are looking for. The fact that many of these successful women have made a lot of money has made it harder for them to meet nice guys. I'll add that the younger guys I know are about a decade younger than many of these 40 and even 50-year-old women who choose to date these older women because that's what they get. And you know that these wealthy women view these younger men more as objects of beauty at that time, because many men in the older group can't or have trouble working in the bedroom. Things aren't going as well as they should for these younger men because they haven't put themselves first. As a result, many older women will start dating some of these younger men, since men their age often date younger women to avoid the disagreeable older women which usually come into a relationship with unsolved issues, multiple failed relationships, marriages, and a lot of extra baggage to deal with. The most important thing for younger women to do is to be interested in a man's future rather than his current financial situation. If you're 23, it will be hard to find a man your age who is a millionaire. If you want to start a life, you should look for someone who has a bright future. Men are more interested in what happened in a woman's past and if she has had multiple affairs. If a woman is willing to make compromises and move up in her career but wants to start a family when she is 42, she will have a hard time finding a guy because they aren't as interested in her as they were when she was 25. As you can see in the clips at the beginning of this video, women need to realize that their lives won't be the same once they hit the wall and that biological clock runs out. They won't get the same level of validation. Lastly, their claims of not finding a good guy at their age is unwarranted. Thanks for watching The Superior Male. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe for our latest videos.